This is part 2 of creating a stylized head like this. In part 1 we made the base mesh, links for that are in the description, and in this video we're concentrating on the finer details. So here's where we got up to last time, and I'll press N to get rid of our toolbar now. And let's start just tidying up, smoothing areas out, so holding down Shift and just painting areas in. You may also find that the background images don't help you too much anymore, so you can turn those off, and ideally you'll have them on a separate screen now, or on something like your mobile phone. I'm using the draw brush to add some volume around the eyes to make the eyelids a bit more puffy. For the mouth, a brush that's really useful is the crease brush, and that creases and pinches the mesh together. Its natural state is to dig in, so you don't have to hold down Control. If you do hold down Control, it can be very useful for refining an area by pulling it outwards like this. And if you're careful with this brush, you can use it to kind of define areas of the face. Because the mesh has a lot more faces, you may want to go across the smooth brush and increase the strength. As I was saying, the more faces you have, the less influential that smooth brush can be. I'll use the draw brush to create a simple ear, so sort of ear cavity like this. And it's best to keep this nice and simple, so just an area inside the ear like that, and you've pretty much got a simple ear. And again, the crease brush is nice for just sharpening edges up, adding a bit of stylization if you wanted to have hard edges like this, and defining areas by digging in. You may need to go back to the grab brush every now and again to kind of refine the shape and push it into position. For meshes that have a lot of faces, it may lag slightly on slower computers. I will bring back my front image to try and refine the eyes, but it can be quite tricky. Areas like this can be very awkward around the tear duct, and you just have to keep working on them, and it takes a little bit of patience to slowly build it up. The inflate tool can be very useful for just pushing an area out. It does inflate it together as well, so it sort of pushes it together. And we can sharpen areas up with the reverse crease later on. That's the crease brush whilst holding down Control. Now if your mesh becomes stretched, remember you've got Control R to do a remesh, but you may have to wait a few seconds for that to kind of catch up. So it can slow down your sculpting, but it is a useful tool. So with the eyes, you can sharpen them up by using the crease brush and holding down Control to sort of pull it outwards and sharpen them. That combined with the smooth brush will help add some detail, but I often find they're the hardest things to work on when you're sculpting. So don't get too despondent, just keep working on them and you slowly get there. For the nostrils, just the basic draw brush, digging in to create some simple nostrils. And again, you may have to remesh in order to stop the stretching. That's why you don't want to go too detailed with things like the eyes just yet. Get the general shape first, make sure you've done all the remeshing you need to, and then work on some more fine details. The crease brush again is great around areas like the nostrils. The inflate brush around the lips is quite nice if you want to give them a bit more fullness. Do keep smoothing out these areas. And I'm jumping between brushes like the draw brush, the inflate brush and the grab brush just to add that volume and flesh it out. You can really sharpen up areas with the crease brush and give it some real stylization if you want to, really exaggerating the planes of the face at this point. To make objects smaller, like the nose in this case, I can hold down Control and deflate it and smooth out. You often have to use the grab brush as well though to move things into position and refine that shape a little bit more. I'm starting to use a bit more time-lapse now, so I'm up to 8 times at the moment, and you can see the sort of things that I'm doing are very similar, so I'm just speeding through those. Again, generally it's the combination of those brushes that I've been talking about already, so there's nothing particularly new here. It's all about practice and using reference images. The tough bit for many is the planes of the face, trying to get the right shapes in the right places, and that's the difficulty going from kind of 2D to 3D, is really getting the right volume for different areas. Again, have lots of reference images, ideally on a separate screen or available to you, and keep referring to those and thinking about the structure. Try and get reference images with lots of different angles as well. That will help you when you're moving around your objects. This is the longest section of time-lapse where we're just getting the shape. Later on I'll talk about things like masking tools where you can sort out the eyelids a little bit more and add a bit more refinement there. And I'll talk about the eyebrows and eyelids a little bit later on as well. A few people were asking me about hair, and I'll certainly add another episode in where we can talk about how to sculpt hair. I generally try and get the shape right before going on to things like the crease brush. Although if I'm using the crease brush as a shape tool, that's fine, but when I'm doing that refinement with the crease brush, it's best to get your shape right first. The draw sharp can be a good one as well for actually indenting. It doesn't pinch the mesh together, but it indents it slightly. So it creates very harsh lines, and then you can combine that with the crease to kind of pinch that mesh together a bit. I'll take my remesh a little bit further now, so I can just look at the numbers this time and maybe go down to 0.003. Do a remesh. Again, keep an eye out on your face count. So just that small adjustment has made a huge difference to the face count. For extra modification of the eyelids, I'm going to use the mask brush. So I'll scroll down to the bottom, there's the mask tool there, or you can press M, and this allows me to paint a section in that I won't be able to affect. So anything that's in black won't be affected by my sculpt brush. You can hold down Control to erase any areas. So now when I go to something like the grab brush, I can start affecting these areas, especially when it comes to the corner here, without affecting the top. Also a handy tip, Alt middle mouse button will center your camera around a certain area. And I can always use the background image as well to try and get the exact location. If you overlap your eye, then you can use the inflate brush, remember, to inflate out, or just use the grab brush to pull it away. The background images can be helpful, but you don't always have to rely on them. You can use your own style and move away from them if you have to. Now if I want to invert the mask, I press Ctrl I, and now I can work on the top. At the moment I'm using the background images a fair bit, but I might move away from them later on. And to clear the mask we press Alt M. This might be a good place for the draw sharp to come in and add some creases in there. I'll use the inflate brush just to add a little bit more volume to these eyelids. And we're slowly getting there. Now I can use the crease brush, holding down Control, and sharpen these areas up. Combine it with the smooth brush, so smooth out a little bit, then use the crease again, and it slowly sort of pinches it together and smooths it over time. Stylized characters can look a bit weird from the back because they often have thin necks with big heads, so it does look a bit strange really. Again, it is important to get the shape right first, so you want to be doing things like the grab brush, the draw brush, and get the right shape for the face and then work on the details. Don't work on the details first, otherwise you'll end up undoing some of that work sometimes when you're pushing it around. You can get away with a bit of movement, but generally get the shape first and then do the details. It is sometimes worth also just checking with your background images, seeing if you've gone off course a little bit, but try as much as possible to get to the shape first before doing the details. The mask brush can be useful in other places like the lips as well if you've got a mouth that's open, so it's not just for eyelids. So this is a good point to work on things like eyelashes and eyebrows. This will be easier in object mode. So for the eyelids, I can add anything like a mesh or a plane, go into edit mode and M, merge at center, so I've got one single vertex just there. This also helps to have snapping turned on, so I can snap to faces, and we want align rotation to target and project individual elements. That won't actually make too much difference at this point, but it will do later on, and I'll explain more about those then. So now I need to be in vertex mode, so vertex mode up here, and when I select this and press G to grab, you can see it's sticking to the surface, and I can extrude along the edge of the eyelid like this, and that's created the base shape. Now I can select all those, come around to the side slightly, and E to extrude outwards. Oh, but I can't do that with snapping turned on, so undo that, snapping turned off, E to extrude along the Y-axis would make more sense. Come out like this, and G then X to move them across, something like so, and G then Z and move them up slightly. I can extend these ones out quite far, so they're kind of bigger eyelashes like that. Now I can add a solidify modifier, so add modifier solidify. Just give it a little bit of thickness. 0.01 is probably okay. I'll move this one back a little bit more. I could even add a subdivision surface modifier to make it nice and smooth. Let's go into object mode so you can see that to its full effect. I'll just grab it and move it down really slightly. Got some very simple eyebrows there, and I can just move these verts along if I want to kind of change the angle or change the effect in any way. With the subdivision surface modifier, I can up the levels to make it even smoother and more refined. And I want to mirror this across the other side, so I'll just minimize that solidify and the subdivision surface modifier and add modifier mirror. Now it looks a bit strange again, but we use the mirror object of the head and it mirrors it across the other side. And we got these nice eyelashes like this. Just need a little bit of modification. For the eyebrows, it's very slightly different. Instead of a single vertex, I do it with a plane. So shift right click to move my 3D cursor to there. Shift A to add, mesh and then plane. Scale this right down. RX90, so it's kind of in front like this. RZ, so it's on top of the surface. So just above, somewhere around there, and nice and small. I'll come to front view, and I'll press Alt Z to go to X-ray mode and make sure my front image is there so I can trace around the eyebrows that are already there. Turn snapping back on and go into edit mode and start moving these vertices around. Let's just double check it's working. And I can select these two, E to extrude to pull those outwards like this, E to extrude, scale down, and all the way to the end. Now when I'm grabbing two at the same time, if I use the project individual elements option, that means they both will move, and the align rotation to target means that this face that's selected here will be aligned with the direction of the faces in the background. Okay, so we've got an eyebrow there. Let's go back into solid mode. Can't see it very well because it's stuck to the surface. We need to add again some solidity, so the solidify modifier, up the thickness, and again it's the minus direction, so somewhere around here. And you may have to add in more cuts, so Control R to do a loop cut. Make sure they're selected and press G, and that will make sure they snap to those faces. And it looks like we need to kind of modify the shape a little bit as well. Again, we can add things like a subdivision surface modifier. Smoothing these out can be a bit more tricky because you have to add a little bit more support, so a supporting loop at the end there, for example, and maybe one going through the middle to keep its structure. If I press this button here, you can see the shape on top. That might make it easier to make out. We've got a simple eyebrow there. We need to mirror it to the other side. Add modifier mirror, and again, choose the mirror object. And we've got some simple eyebrows. You might want these things to be smooth as well, so right click, shade smooth. Same with the eyelashes, and actually same with the face as well. So there it is, that's how I sculpted the detailed section. In the next video I will be talking about hair and how we can add that in a nice easy way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.